Dear students, we have been discussing the story, His First Flight. A young seagull does not know how to fly, and this story deals with his effort to learn how to fly. It tells us about his experience of learning how to fly. Now, at first, the young seagull was so afraid that he could not leave the ledge. His brothers and sisters had flown away. His parents had called him many times, but he had not dared to fly because he thought that his wings would never support him and he would fall into the sea. This fear prevented him from flying. Now, his parents had left the cliff, then the ledge. His brothers and sisters had also left the ledge. He could see that his parents were teaching his brothers and sister the art of diving and how to catch fish. He also saw his elder brother catch his first herring. Now the condition or the plight of the young seagull was very miserable. He had been starving. He had gone without food for many hours. Since the previous nightfall, he had been without food. Naturally, he felt the heat of the sun. He was trying to find a way to reach his parents without flying, but it was impossible. He could see that his brothers and sisters were dozing on the plateau. His father was making the feathers smooth. His mother was looking at him. Ultimately, he cried out to his mother, and his mother responded. And with a piece of fish in her mouth, she started flying towards him. When she came near the young seagull, she stopped. She was motionless in the air. The young seagull could not understand why his mother was not coming nearer to him. Then the sight of the food made him mad because he had gone without food for many hours, and then he dived at the fish. We are starting from that point. Look at your books at page 63. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. When the young seagull dived at the fish, he did not reach his mother, he did not reach the fish. He began to fall. He fell downwards, that means towards the sea, nicher dike, and outwards to the external part, bayrer dike, into space. Space means the open area, mahashubha. Then terror seized him. Terror means fear, atanko. Terror seized him. That means he was very much nervous, very much afraid. And his heart stood still. His heart stood still. Our heart is always beating. হৃৎপিণ্ড সবসময় স্পন্দিত হয়. But here his heart seemed to stop beating. That means he was so nervous that he thought that his heart was not beating. But it only lasted a moment. Last means to have a duration. Sthayitto thaka. This condition that his heart had stopped beating, he was falling downwards. It was only for a second. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. It is a reflex action. এটা একটা প্রতিবর্ত ক্রিয়া. The birds, if they are thrown into the space, naturally their wings will spread. ডানা খুলে যাবে. And this happened in case of the young seagull. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under the stomach, and against his wings. A strong wind was blowing, and it was touching all the parts of his body. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. Tip of his wings. Tip. Tip means the outermost part, Agrabindu. The tip of his wings was cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. To fall headlong means to fall with the head downwards. মাথা নিচের দিকে করে পড়ে যাওয়া, তাকে বলা হয় to fall headlong. At first the young seagull was falling headlong, but then he found that he was not falling headlong. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. To soar. To soar means to go up quickly, to go upwards quickly. ওপরের দিকে ওঠা. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. The young seagull was going up, and it was gradual. It was a slow going up. He was no longer afraid, and he found to his surprise that he was no longer nervous. Now he could fly. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. So far he had been soaring downwards and outwards, but now he soared upwards. ওপরের দিকে উঠতে লাগলো. He uttered a joyous scream. Joyous means happy. Scream means shout. To utter means to give out a cry. He gave out a cry of a happy shout and flapped them again. To flap the wings, that means his wings were going up and coming down. ডানাটা ওঠানামা করছে. This is called flapping. He flapped his wings. He soared higher. His mother flew past him, her wings making a loud noise. The young seagull's mother was flying by him, and he saw that his mother was flying by him. To fly past means to fly by, past the urea. He answered her with another scream. The young seagull's mother was screaming. It was a scream of joy, and the young seagull responded, she shara dilo, with another cry of joy. Then his father flew over him, screaming. After his mother, his father came and he began to fly over him. He was also shouting. Then he saw his two brothers and his sister flying around him. The entire family of the seagulls was flying around the young seagull. They were very happy because he had learned the art of flying. He saw a vast green sea beneath him. Generally, the water of the sea is blue, but from far away, it appears to be greenish. So, the young seagull saw the vast sea. Vast means very large, big. He saw the big sea under him, and he turned his beak sideways and crowed amusedly. Beak. What is lips to us is beak to birds. আমাদের যেটা ঠোঁট পাখিদের ক্ষেত্রে বলা হয় beak. He turned his beak towards his side. He crowed. Crow is a cry of the bird. He crowed amusedly, that means in a happy manner. His parents and his brother and sister had landed on this green floor in front of him. The green floor refers to the surface of the sea, which was green in color. So the entire family had landed on the green surface of the sea. They were beckoning to him. To beckon means to call by signals. Ishara kore daka. His family members were calling him through signals, calling shrilly. Shrill means sharp. They were calling him sharply. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea, and now the young seagull himself landed on the sea. He landed on his legs. He had at first thought that his wings would never support him, but now he found that he could fly easily, and now he landed on the green surface of the sea. His feet sank into the sea. Sank is the past form of sink, ডুবে যাওয়া. And then his belly touched it. Belly, stomach, paid. The stomach or belly of the young seagull touched the water of the sea. and he sank no further. And now the young seagull did not go under the surface of the water. He was floating on it. To float means to remain on the surface without sinking. না ডুবে ভেসে থাকা. Now the young seagull was floating on the sea, and around him his family was screaming, praising him. To praise means to use good words about somebody. প্রশংসা করা. The family of the seagulls was shouting and showering praises on him because he had learned to fly. He had made his first flight. So this story tells us about the experience of a young seagull who learned how to fly. But this is not the story of a seagull. It is the story of human beings. This story has a moral. This story has a lesson. What is it? That we should not be afraid of the critical situations in life. In our life, many critical situations may come. বিভিন্ন কঠিন পরিস্থিতি আসতে পারে, but we should conquer fear. We should overcome fear. আমাদের ভয়কে জয় করতে হবে, and only then we can achieve success in life. The young seagull was at first afraid. That's why he could not fly. But then when he gathered courage, যখন সে সাহস সঞ্চয় করলো, then he was able to fly. This is the moral, that we, even if we face adversity, we should not be afraid. প্রতিকূল পরিস্থিতির মুখোমুখি হলে ভয় পেলে চলবে না. Rather, we should try wholeheartedly to overcome the critical situation, and only then we can succeed in life. So we have finished this lesson. You should do some homework, page 65, exercise 1, 2 and 3. This is your homework, solve them, and I will discuss it in our later classes. Thank you.